Would you believe me if I told you I made my garden patio look like a $10,000 designer setup, using only Dollar Tree fall items? No landscaper, no fancy furniture, no boutique garden center prices, just a vision, a glue gun, and a shopping cart full of Dollar Tree treasures. And now, it looks like something out of a dream. Cozy, warm, and oh so elegant, on a budget that won't touch your savings. Welcome back to Timeless Gardening, the place where we believe beauty doesn't have to come with a big price tag. Whether you're working with a backyard, a balcony, or just a sunny little corner, I'm here to help you make it magical, one easy, affordable idea at a time. If you're new here, don't be a stranger. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a single tip, trick, or idea to turn your garden into your sanctuary. And if you've been with me for a while, you already know, grab your cup of tea, get comfy, and let's create something beautiful together. Ready to see how I pulled off a luxury fall patio with just 15 clever Dollar Tree finds? Let's get into it. Item 1. Faux leather pumpkin placemats. As planter chargers, I found these faux leather pumpkin-shaped placemats in the fall decor section at Dollar Tree. They come in rich tones like burnt orange, deep brown, and even metallic gold. Instead of putting them on a table, I used them under my large potted plants as decorative charger plates. Here's the trick: stack them beneath terracotta pots, or even basic plastic planters to create a layered high-end look. It adds instant texture and warmth, like something you'd see at a designer patio showroom. They catch the eye, elevate the space, and the best part? No one guesses they're literally placemats. And because they're wipeable and weather-friendly, they hold up beautifully outdoors. Just make sure they're on a covered patio, or under an awning, if you're expecting rain. Item 2. Hanging leaf garland turned draped garden canopy. Dollar Tree's fall leaf garlands are usually meant for mantels or banisters, but I used them to create a draped canopy over my garden sitting area. And the effect was pure magic. I hung 6 or 7 strands from my pergola, using zip ties and clear hooks, letting them swag naturally for a soft cascading look. If you don't have a pergola, shepherd's hooks or garden stakes work just as well. When the sunlight hits those rich fall colors, oranges, reds, and golds, the whole space glows. Add a few fairy lights, and it turns into a dreamy little retreat. All it took was a few dollars and a little imagination to give my garden that cozy high-end feel. Item 3. Plastic harvest baskets as rustic wall planters. Those little plastic harvest baskets from Dollar Tree, the ones that look like mini apple baskets, turned out to be perfect for a quick vertical garden. I drilled a small hole in the back of each, hung them on my patio wall, and lined them with coconut liner. Then I filled them with pansies, violas, and trailing ivy. You could also go faux for zero upkeep. Grouped in 3s or 5s, they added a rustic layered look that felt straight out of a vintage garden market. Everyone asks where I got them, and no one guesses the dollar aisle. Item 4. Dollar Tree mop heads turned boho-chic pumpkin pillows. It sounds crazy, but those cotton mop heads from the cleaning aisle make amazing fall pillows. The thick, soft strands have that natural woven texture that gives off serious farmhouse boho vibes. I hot glued a few mop heads onto old pillow covers in a spiral pattern to mimic a pumpkin, then added a cinnamon stick as a stem. That's it. They turned out adorable, just like the pricey boutique ones, but for a couple of bucks. I styled them on my garden bench with some mums and mini hay bales, and the space looked instantly cozy and curated. If you're not into sewing, no problem. Hot glue does the trick. Just keep them under cover, and they'll last all season long. Item 5. Glass candle holders as mini pedestals for garden accents. Those short glass candle holders from Dollar Tree. I used them as little pedestals to elevate my fall garden decor. Mini pumpkins, faux gourds, ceramic birds, even small potted succulents. It's such a small change, but it adds height and makes everything feel more styled. I grouped a few on a rustic tray with leaves and pine cones, and suddenly my patio table looked like something from a boutique cafe. They're sturdy enough for light items, and if you want them to stay put, just use a bit of removable adhesive. It's a simple touch, but it makes the whole space feel finished. Item 6. Mesh laundry bags as fall lantern sleeves. This might sound a little wild, but Dollar Tree's mesh laundry bags, yes, the ones from the laundry aisle, turned out to be the perfect base for creating soft glowing lantern sleeves. They come in white, but the mesh has this almost lace-like pattern when stretched, and once I saw that, I knew I could turn them into something special. Here's what I did. I cut the bags down to size, and slid them over simple glass jars and vases from Dollar Tree. Then I tucked in a string of battery-operated fairy lights, or a flameless candle. That mesh diffuses the light beautifully, giving off a soft warm glow that looks expensive and cozy, perfect for fall evenings on the patio. To dress them up even more, I tied a little raffia or jute twine around the top, and tucked in a few faux leaves or a sprig of eucalyptus. They looked like handmade lanterns from a high-end boutique, and cost maybe $2 each, tops. I placed a few around my seating area, and tucked others between planters. At night the whole space comes alive with this warm flickering light that feels so magical. It's the kind of atmosphere you can't buy in a box, but you can definitely build from the laundry aisle. Item 7. Faux wood peel and stick wallpaper as patio tabletop cover. You know those peel and stick wallpaper rolls at Dollar Tree, the ones that look like faux wood, marble or tile. I used the faux wood one to completely transform the top of an old weathered patio side table, and it turned out so good, I almost didn't recognize it when I was done. I wiped the surface clean, trimmed the wallpaper to size, and slowly pressed it onto the tabletop, smoothing it out as I went. No bubbles, no fuss. The wood grain design has this soft gray washed finish that looks just like aged barnwood. It instantly gave the table a high-end farmhouse vibe, without needing to sand or paint anything. To seal it, I added a quick coat of clear-drying outdoor Mod Podge, just enough to help it hold up through the season. And let me tell you, now it looks like a custom furniture piece. I styled it with a lantern, a few stacked books, and one of those cozy mop head pillows we made earlier. The whole setup looked so polished, people kept asking where I bought the table. So if you've got an old piece of furniture that's still solid, but not exactly pretty, this trick is your best friend. One roll goes a long way, and no one will guess it came from the craft aisle. Item 8. Mini hay bales turned tiered plant stands. You've probably seen those adorable mini hay bales in the Dollar Tree seasonal section. They're usually used for tabletop decor or craft projects, but I used them as unexpected plant risers, and the result was rustic, charming, and so visually satisfying. I stacked a few of them to create varying heights, then placed small potted mums, trailing ivy, and even faux pumpkins on top. It gave my patio display a layered, almost harvest market feel. I set them in a corner near my seating area, and suddenly, that spot became the coziest nook in the garden. They're surprisingly sturdy for how lightweight they are. Just don't place anything too heavy. I found that terracotta pots up to about 6 inches wide worked perfectly. If you want even more stability, a quick dab of hot glue between the bales will hold them in place without damaging anything permanently. They also work beautifully as part of a fall-themed photo backdrop, especially when mixed with lanterns, crates, or dried corn stalks. And when you're done, they compost beautifully, or store easily for next year. It's one of those little tricks that looks like you spent hours planning, when really, it was just $1 and a good idea. Item 9. Dollar Tree wire pumpkin frames as cheek wreath bases. You know those wire pumpkin-shaped frames from Dollar Tree. Most people use them for traditional wreaths, but I flipped the script and turned them into sleek, minimalist wall art for my patio. No ribbon, no fluff, just clean lines, fall texture, and a modern touch. First, I spray painted a few of them in matte gold and deep bronze to give them a high-end finish. Then I wrapped a small section of each frame with dried wheat stalks, preserved leaves, or even just simple raffia, keeping it all asymmetrical, so the wire pumpkin shape still showed through. I hung them side by side on my patio wall, using twine and clear hooks. The result? A gallery-style display that looks like it came from a boutique home decor store. It gave the whole space a soft sculptural feel, like art meets autumn. You can also use them as layering pieces behind planters or lanterns to add dimension without clutter. They're lightweight, easy to store, and completely reusable. And with just a few tweaks, you can restyle them year after year to match your seasonal theme. It's that kind of understated elegance that makes everything feel more put together, and all from a wire frame that costs just $1. Item 10. Plastic garden fencing as decorative skirting for planter boxes. You've probably seen those white plastic garden fence panels at Dollar Tree, usually used to border flower beds. But instead of laying them flat on the ground, I use them vertically as skirting around the bottom of my raised planter boxes, and it added a clean, charming finish that totally elevated the look. I trimmed each piece to fit using a simple pair of garden shears, then secured them with zip ties and a few small nails along the wooden base of the planters. The fencing wrapped around like a decorative apron, hiding the not-so-pretty legs underneath, and giving the boxes a quaint cottage-style feel. To make it even more seamless, I dry-brushed the fence panels with a little antique white chalk paint that softened the bright plastic and gave it the look of aged wood. It was subtle, but made a big difference. It's amazing how something this small can change the entire mood of a space. It pulled everything together and made my DIY planters look like custom pieces. It's functional too. It keeps curious pets or falling leaves from slipping underneath and making a mess. No one believes it came from the fencing section at Dollar Tree, and that's exactly why I love it. Item 11. Fall-themed scarves as table runners and plant wraps. Now, this one's a little unexpected, but stay with me. Dollar Tree's fashion aisle sometimes carries those lightweight fall-themed scarves. You know, the ones with plaid patterns, soft knits, or leaf prints. I grabbed a few and used them not as clothing, but as garden decor. I laid one across my outdoor table as a casual runner. The colors, warm golds, deep reds, and rustic browns, tied in perfectly with my mum's mini pumpkins and lanterns. But I didn't stop there. I also wrapped a few of the scarves around the base of large planters, tying them in a loose knot at the side. It gave the pots a dressed-up cozy look, like they were wearing little fall sweaters. If you want a more polished finish, just tuck the ends neatly underneath and secure with a dab of hot glue or double-sided tape. It's a super affordable way to add layers, texture, and softness to your setup without spending money on custom linens or expensive wraps. And because scarves are so lightweight, they move gently with the breeze, adding just the right amount of movement and charm. Whether you use them on a table, a bench, or wrapped around your planters, they bring warmth in the most unexpected and beautiful way. Item 12. Plastic crates turned stacked garden shelves. In the storage section of Dollar Tree, I picked up a few of those small plastic crates, the square ones with open sides. At first glance, they're just for organizing school supplies or craft materials, but I saw mini shelving units waiting to happen. I stacked 3 of them on their sides, securing them together with zip ties to make a vertical tower. Then I anchored the whole thing to the side of my garden bench using wire and a small nail. Each cubby became a little display shelf, perfect for showing off small potted plants, faux pumpkins, or even rolled up scarves and mini books for that cozy garden reading vibe. To make the crates feel more finished, I lined the back of each one with scrapbooking paper and fall prints, plaid, leaves, burlap textures, and added a little LED tea light inside for a soft glow at night. The whole setup added vertical interest without taking up much space. It turned a plain flat wall into a functional and beautiful garden nook that looked like it came from a home and garden magazine. It's lightweight, super budget-friendly, and easy to take apart or restyle for any season. And honestly, it's just plain fun to make. Item 13. Scented broomsticks as garden aromatherapy decor. You know those cinnamon-scented mini broomsticks Dollar Tree sells every fall. Usually they're just tucked into a corner of the home, but I brought them outside, and they added the most magical, comforting touch to my garden setup. I bundled 3 of them together with a bit of raffia and tucked the bunch behind a few planters near my seating area. The breeze carries the soft cinnamon scent through the air, and it instantly makes the whole space feel warm, festive, and welcoming, like walking into a cozy farmhouse. I also hung one from a shepherd's hook using jute twine, letting it dangle freely near my garden path. I added a few faux leaves and a mini sunflower for decoration. It looked like a tiny harvest charm, and every time someone walked by they caught that delicious fall scent in the air. The best part? No plugins, no sprays, no candles. Just a natural nostalgic aroma that lasts for weeks. It's such a simple sensory detail, but it completely transforms how the space feels, not just how it looks. Sometimes it's the scent of fall that makes your garden feel luxurious, and this little broomstick trick does it for just $1. Item 14. Faux pearl wrap ribbon. As decorative garden ties over in the craft section at Dollar Tree, there's a roll of faux pearl wrap ribbon. Tiny plastic pearls linked together in a flexible strand. Most people use it for gift wrapping or wedding decor, but I used it to add little moments of luxury all around my garden patio. I cut short sections and wrapped them around the base of candle holders, the necks of small vases, and even tied them around bundles of dried wheat and faux florals. Just that tiny glimmer of pearl made everything look more intentional, like a little jewelry moment for your garden decor. One of my favorite touches was wrapping the pearl ribbon around the top rim of a plain glass vase, dropping in a few acorns and a battery candle. It went from basic to boutique in less than 2 minutes. I also used a long strand to tie up sheer curtains around my patio posts. Just a soft little detail that made the whole space feel romantic and finished. This stuff is lightweight, flexible, and completely reusable. And while it's subtle, the shine catches the light just enough to feel fancy, without ever looking overdone. It's the kind of tiny upgrade that makes your guests lean in and say, "Wait, where did you get that?" Item 15. Solar stake lights inside faux pumpkins. For glowing night decor. For the final touch, I took those lightweight, hollow foam pumpkins from the fall section at Dollar Tree, the ones that are easy to carve, and turned them into glowing lanterns, using the small solar stake lights from the garden aisle. First I cut a hole in the bottom of each pumpkin, just big enough to slide the solar light through. Then I popped the pumpkin right on top, so the light glowed from within. During the day, the solar panels charge up in the sun, and by dusk, these pumpkins give off the softest golden light. I scattered them around my patio, lining the walkway and tucking a few into flower beds. One went right beside the bench with the mop head pillows, and another nestled between my stacked hay bales. It brought the whole scene to life after dark, like my garden was telling its own little autumn story. You can even carve a few subtle designs into the sides, just little leaf cutouts or slits, to let the light flicker through like a real lantern. They're weather friendly, no batteries needed, and you can store them to reuse year after year. It's the perfect blend of cozy and clever. And when guests walk through your garden at night and see those glowing pumpkins lighting the way, trust me, they'll never believe it all came from Dollar Tree. And just like that, my little garden patio was completely transformed. What started as a few humble Dollar Tree finds turned into a space that feels cozy, elegant, and honestly, priceless. It doesn't take a big budget to create beauty, just a little creativity, some patience, and a fresh way of seeing the everyday. Every one of these pieces brought something special: texture, light, warmth, and that little spark that makes your space feel like you. If any of these ideas inspired you, I'd love to hear which one was your favorite. Drop it in the comments below. And if you end up trying any of them, please share your photos. I'd love to see how you make these ideas your own. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you some fresh inspiration. And if you're not already part of the Timeless Gardening family, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. I've got so many more affordable, beautiful garden ideas coming your way, and I'd love to share them with you. Until next time, happy gardening. And remember, your garden doesn't need a big price tag to be absolutely breathtaking.